Okay, welcome to today's webinar. This is Technical Session 3, Advanced Customization, Part 2. Today we're going to cover editing the client's help file and the Registration Wizard plugin, the Online Installer plugin, special client installations like for Exchange and SQL Server. We'll have a look at best practices, and we'll talk about the RBS update utility. Excuse me. And then we'll do website integration, and I'll talk about different kinds of automatic registration systems that you can use to deploy the software online. I'd like to start by asking if there are any questions or concerns or issues left over from either of the previous two sessions that we had. Anything you guys want to see again, or any questions, anything we didn't cover completely?
Nothing I have.
No, I'm fine.
All righty, good. In the previous two sessions, we covered how to customize the client software, and among other things. But most of the last one that we dealt with was customizing the client software. The one thing we didn't talk about how to customize is the help file that comes with the client. Now, when you install the server software, it also installs the help system for both the server and the client. The client's help file is in the client folder under Program Files and RBS Server, the default location for the installation of the RBS server. And that file is a CHM file. It's called, I think it's called rbackup.chm. There it is right there. Now this is a standard Microsoft compiled HTML file. When I double click it, I can view it on screen. That file contains all of the code necessary and the pictures necessary to display the help system. It's got the table of contents on the left. It's got built-in search feature. It's got an index. It's really pretty cool stuff. Now, one of the things you're going to want to do right away is to customize this, and you're going to want to replace the words remote backup with the name of your company. Let's close this, and I'll show you one of the programs that we use to do this. Now, we wrote this using RoboHelp version, I think it's version 7, which uses Microsoft Word as its editor. Once the help file is compiled into a CHM, though, it becomes a little difficult to edit directly, but there is a program out there I want to introduce you to now called, hang on while I go look for it. It's a CHM editor. It's called the CHM editor, and it's from this company, Grenadsoft. So I think this costs $69. It's a heck of a deal considering that RoboHelp costs around $600 or $700. So here are the website for this product is www.chmeditor.com. And this is one of the few WYSIWYG editors that what you see is what you get, that can edit does a really good job of editing a CHM file directly. Let's show you how to do that. All right, let's find a file we'd like to edit. Here's the rbackup CHM file. Now, we're in the editor, but it looks very much like the program itself. So you can actually go through here and change this. You can change the text. You can do anything you want with it. And save it. When you save it back like this, it saves it as a compiled CHM file, which is 100% compatible with rbackup. One of the first things you'll want to do is replace these words, remote backup, with your company name. Now, we've been pretty careful throughout the document to refer to the software as remote backup. So you can do a mass search and replace for this, which is what I'm going to show you how to do now. But obviously, it's going to make a few mistakes. Like, for example, it's going to replace this as well. All right, to do this, we switch to the Files view. select any of the files. This is made up of different HTML files. The files view contains different objects that were all an original part of this CHM file before it was compiled. So it included this HTML file. These are all just web-based files right here, and GIFs. These are the pictures. So select that and then pick Edit. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to get... okay. We have to switch to Source View to do this. All right, so first switch to Source View, then pick Files, then pick Edit, then pick Replace. Okay, let's replace all instances of Remote Backup with the company name Jumbo Backup. And let's uncheck all of this stuff so that it's not case sensitive. And what you'll see is that it replaced it in that header, didn't it? But not. Let's try that again. Oh, because I'm in the header up here. This is a split view, and it contains, up on the top, there's a source code. It's standard HTML, and down here in the bottom, it's the way it actually will look. Okay, I don't know why it's not doing that. Let's try it on this one. Pick the source view, edit, replace, remote backup with Jumbo Backup. Okay, let's try this. Okay, well, this is not one of this is not working. Okay, so let me just move on. We've tried a lot of CHM editor programs, and this is the best for the price. While I can't seem to make it do a search and replace right now, I am somewhere close to the way to do it. So, if you need to edit this, buy this program, use the help system. Find out how to do the search and replace properly, because obviously I don't know how to do it. You'll be able to move these pictures around like this. You can set their properties. You can do all kinds of things. You can edit this many different ways that you can edit this. And this webinar is not all about teaching you how to use the CHM editor. It's just to introduce you to the CHM editor itself so that you can use it. So when you get finished with all of this, just click this to save it back, and that's that. This is much easier than the way it used to be. The old version of the software had a standard HLP file, a help file, but Vista dropped support for that, and so we switched to CHM. Previously, it was a real headache to edit this, the HTML file. The CHM file, though, is easy. One thing about CHM files is they don't like to run from the web. They don't like to run from another drive either. So they want to work. They want to run from the C drive. So, for example, if I put this file over on a network drive and tried to run it, it won't run. Let's see, the pictures. By default, the way the documentation comes to you is with pictures with the remote backup logo and the remote backup name on it. I think what we'll do in the future is remove all of this and ship it just completely blank, and that way you won't have to take new pictures. As it is now, we have to snap new pictures. Or you're going to have to snap new pictures after you've customized the software. Now, let's see. A utility that we like a lot to snap those pictures from the screen is called Screen Print 32. It's not going to run with, this doesn't like to run with the GoToMeeting client. But Screen Print 32 is a free program, so you probably want to write that down and get it. Screen Print 32 allows you to remap the print screen key it brings this program up, and you can draw on the screen. You can select a rectangle on the screen that you want to capture, and hit the I use F12 key for my stamp key on this, and it snaps it either into the clipboard or onto the disk, and saves it as a GIF file that you can directly import. Any questions about this?
No, it's good.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I do have one.
Yeah, sure.
Is this, I mean, there's quite a bit of work to do this.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
When you come out with a new help file, is there some way you can just tell us what you've added so that we could just maybe paste that into what we've already finished? Or are we going to have to redo this again when you come out with another help file?
I don't know of a way to say what we've added. Good question, and let me think about that and get back to you on it. I'll have to talk to Gautam about that. Gautam will be joining us in a few minutes, and we'll ask him that question.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about the online installer plugin. Let me get that installed. The online installer plugin is it's one of our plugins, one of our most popular plugins, that allows your customers to install your client software from your website with just a single click. It does not require them to download an exe file, or and there are no warnings that tell you that it's dangerous to run it. The online installer is also good for low bandwidth situations because it uses less bandwidth than the exe file. I do not have it installed on this computer, so let's install it. And then I'll show you where it goes. That's it. It's simple to install. After it's installed, it brings up its help file and tells you all about it. I'm going to tell you about it, though. This is installed on your RBS server. The RBS server is usually in a folder, Program Files and RBS Server. The online installer creates a folder called Web, and then inside that it creates the online installer folder. And the online installer is simply a bunch of files. And you'll recognize this as many of the files that are in the standard installation for our backup client. All of this stuff needs to be customized, and then once you customize it, you just copy it into your web space. And then run this index file. So now, one interesting thing about this is install the online installer before you start all of your customizations. If the online installer is installed while you're doing your client customizations, then it'll be customized automatically at the same time, so you don't have to duplicate efforts. I'll show you how this is different. Normally, with you saw earlier yesterday in yesterday's technical session number 2, how we could make an exe file as an installer. If you post that on your website, that has to be downloaded, and you have to give the user instructions on how to do it. With the online installer, you can just place a link, and that link goes to this file right here. Goes to this file. Let me drag this on screen so you can see it. And this is what it looks like. At this point, to install, all you have to do is click this install right here, and it installs the client software for you. So there's no download, and there's also no way that you can save the, no way that your customer can save it. From this point, the installation progresses normally. I'm not going to install this one because what I want to do is customize one and install it for you first. So I'm going to pick cancel here. Gautam is here. You want me to transfer control to you at your own workstation, or you want to use this one? Oh, I can't transfer it to you. Okay. All right. Well, let me turn this over to to Gautam. And we just finished talking about the. I'll get on this computer right here and talk to you and see if I can log in. I'll go get your headset and.
Okay. You're done with the online installer?
Yeah, I asked if there are any questions about it. So I've done that and the edit client up.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I think Rob has explained the online installer. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get the server up. 1 second. Okay, whenever you go into the customized client installer and make any changes, and when you save all your settings, it's going to ask you a question. Do you want to copy those changes to the online installer as well? So, so right now, as you can see, it says, would you like to copy the change database, customization files to the online installer? All you have to do at this point is say yes, and it's going to copy all the files to the online installer folder. So if you go to see program files on online installer, you'll see that all the files with the recently modified date, you can find it here. So it copied over the user license agreement, the catalog file, and all the setup files. So that's all you have to do as far as configuring the online installers. And all you have to do is move this online installer folder to wherever your website is hosted, and you point it to a link to the index.htm. So that's all you have to do. If you don't have any questions, can I move on to the registration wizard?
I don't have it.
Okay. Let's see if it is installed already. No, it's not. Okay. Let me go ahead and install that. Okay, this is the help file for the registration wizard. All the help files for the plugins and the server, everything resides in the program files RBS server folder. So if you go in the RBS server folder and sort the files, you'll see all the help documentation right here. This is the server's documentation, this is the registration wizard, and the online installer. Once you have installed the registration wizard, go ahead and restart your RBS server once. And after you restart, the first thing you have to do is enable the registrar. The RBS registrar is a login that the registration wizard uses to connect to the RBS server. So if you go to Tools, Properties, Manager, Preferences, you'll see this RBS registrar option. Just enable that. You can leave the defaults, or you can change the username and password. It's up to you. You don't have to enter this information on the client side. It gets built into the installer itself. So you can leave it as defaults if you have to. Just click on Apply and say OK. And the next thing you do is you'll see this option under Tools, select Client Wizard Configuration. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is where you configure the registration wizard. You can change the text on all these panels. There are 6 different panels. You can change the text on each of these panels, and you can also customize the panel images too. I'll show you that in a second on how to do that. Okay, so the introduction panel, this is where you change the introduction text. You can change the colors, and also there are some options here you can change. So going to the user information panel, this is where they enter the name, email address, and the contact information. So this text here will be displayed on the top when they enter the information. So you can change this text as well. The logon username and password, there are different ways to assign the login information. The assignment method, there's 5 different types. You can select entered by user, in which case the user selects his own username and password. You can set it to random, and it won't prompt the user, but it automatically generates a random username and password. And you can add some prefix if you have to. This could be one case where you can build an installer for one of your reseller, and you can have it, all the usernames can have a prefix with the reseller account information. Like it could start with reseller 1 or something like that. So you can add a prefix, so you can easily identify on the accounts section, like which client is under which account or which reseller. You can also set it to sequential. Sequential means it's going to keep adding like 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, it's basically a sequential method of assignment. Predefined means you have to predefine an account on the server and send the username and password to the client. An email address, you can assign the username as the email address that they enter, and the password will become a random password. You can also set the quota here. The quota for the registration wizard. This is something new that's going to come out. Quota wasn't a part of the registration wizard, but you can set a predefined quota, and whenever the account gets registered on the server, it assigns this quota automatically. So you can set it to either unlimited, or you can uncheck the unlimited and set a quota. Again, the text on top of this can be customized. And the next option is the connection setup. The user actually doesn't see this, but this is for you to enter the server's address and the port number and the connection type. And the backup options, there are some defaults that you can set here as well. So you can change the retention settings and the compression level, default encryption. You can also set the auto generate key. So if you select this option, what happens is the registration wizard automatically generates an encryption key, and so it won't prompt the end user to make their selection. So you can always default it to Blowfish and select auto generate key, and once they register the client, it won't come up with that encryption key input form there. So it will automatically do that for you. So this is the final screen where you click next to register, and the final screen, the finish screen, is the 6th panel that you can you can put some information like thank you for registering and contact us at so and so phone numbers and support address and all that. So once you make all these panel changes, you can click on save and then click on close. There is also a test wizard option here. The test wizard is to basically test the configuration to see if it works fine. This system doesn't have the ports open, so I'm not going to run the test, but you can run the test and you can actually see the changed text that you've customized. The panels, once you run the registration wizard, there are 6 panels. The panels are the images. I'll show you where the panels are. If you go to the client folder and sort the files by file type, you'll see there are 6, actually 7 BMP files for each of the panels itself. So if you open it in Paint or something. Okay, let me open it in. Okay. So that's how the panel looks like. That's the first image on the first panel. You can change these images as well. So these are all BMP formats. Let me close this. Okay. So you can customize these, each of these individual panels as well. So if you want to. So once you set up the registration wizard, then you go build the client installer. So all your changes with the registration wizard will be part of your installer. Do you guys use the registration wizard, or are you using just the online installer and manually creating accounts?
We're using the wizard.
You're using the wizard? You both are? Okay. Okay. Any questions or doubts in the client wizard? I think this needs a reboot or something. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, I'm quite sure why you set these options in the registration wizard when they're already sort of set.
This
in
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually kind of redundant because if you already have set it up in the customized client installer, you can ignore these actually. You can, okay, hold on 1 second. Let me try to close this. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of redundant at this point. I think we are going to remove these from the registration wizard. But you're right. I mean, it's kind of redundant. I mean, you're already doing it in the customized client installer, so you don't have to set it up here as well. But this was the case previously when all those options weren't part of the customized wizard. So you can leave this blank, or you can set it the same as the customized client installer. It doesn't make much of a difference.
Which will take precedence?
The one in the customized client installer takes precedence. These options are for new backup sets anyway. These won't change for the existing backup sets, because if you go to the customized client installer, you go to the backup sets, you're actually setting the values for the existing backup sets. So these options in the registration wizard, these are only for the new backup sets. So you can set it the same as the other one, but yeah, I think we should. I'm gonna remove these options because it's kind of redundant at this point. Let's see. So you can build multiple sets of installers even with the registration wizard. And the main thing is the user assignment. That's what most people change. Most of them have email address as their username. Some of them have the end user enter the username password. So that's pretty much it about the registration wizard. Let's see. Okay.
Was there, sorry to
Yes.
ask again, was there somewhere in there to say which account group the user would go into?
That's defined in this customized client installer.
Yes. Okay.
So for each account group, you have to build a different installer. So if you have multiple account groups, you have to select for account group 1, you have to build an installer, come back here, change it to account group 2, and build another installer. So this is where you assign the account group. Let's see. You know, once you even the online installer can start the registration wizard. So so if you configure the registration wizard, you come back to build the installer, right? You can either build the client installer, or if you're using the registration wizard, just apply the changes. So the new files, all the registration wizard files also gets copied to the online installer. So you have to do this once. You have to apply it. So the new settings and the panel changes, everything gets copied into the online installer folder as well. Okay, let's see. The next section is about special client installations like Exchange, SQL, Domino, etc. let's.
I think what we're going to do with that is to
Yeah.
show the help file on screen because we don't have an Exchange server on this computer.
Okay.
In order to back up, we'd like to show you Exchange and the other stuff. This one does have a MySQL, SQL Server on it, and
Okay.
the help file ought to be on that right-hand screen.
Yeah.
You can just drag that onto the screen in front of you.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to the user manuals. Okay, let's start with Exchange. For Exchange, if you encounter a server like an Exchange server, but you want to back up Exchange, they might have a SQL server. They might also have regular data files. What I would recommend for Exchange is having its own backup set. Because for Exchange backups, you always have to do select incremental. That's the recommended backup type for Exchange. So when you install a client and if you have to back up Exchange data, create a new backup set, call it Exchange backup, and select incremental. And then the first thing you have to do is on the client, you'll see on the left-hand interface of the advanced interface, you'll see Exchange server, like the first image on this help file. When you click on the Exchange server, it'll ask you for the connection parameters. The connection parameters are FQDN, the fully qualified domain name, and it will tell you where to find it. There is information buttons on this form. So if you click on this small icon which says I for information, it will tell you where to find the fully qualified domain name and also entering the domain name. Now the username password should be the administrator account because in most cases administrator has access to all the mailboxes. So you have to enter a username password here for an account which has access to all the mailboxes. That's one of the main things that people come across where they can't access and get a permissions error when they select mailboxes. And there is a section in the help file which says troubleshooting Exchange. This is the section that you have to go through to give administrators full permissions to all the mailboxes. And there are three ways to do it. You can either give the administrator account full access to all the mailboxes, and it explains you step by step how to do that. You can also give a domain user access to a particular mailbox, or you can actually create a new user and give them access to all the mailboxes. So it's up to you. You can. I think the easiest would be to give the administrator account full access, or you can create a new user just for the backup purposes. So just go through this the troubleshooting Exchange document if you come across permissions issue. But that's pretty much the connection parameters. So once you enter all these and click on connect, you will then see all the mailboxes. So this is how it looks like. Actually, let me go here. It explains you in the help file that the the Exchange manager, and tells you where to find the domain name, the fully qualified domain name, and how to set up the username, password, and all that. But this is how it looks.
Maybe we should be clear. I don't know if it was clear that this has to run on the Exchange server computer, so instead of on a computer that's connected to it.
Right, yeah. The Exchange agent only works on the Exchange server itself, so you have to install the client software on that machine. Okay, let me show this. Okay, once you give all the connection parameters, this is how it will look like. You'll see all the public folders, the address list, and the mailboxes. And if you expand the mailboxes, you'll see the individual mailboxes for all the users. Let's move up a little. There is another way you can exclude certain mailboxes, like you can exclude the sent items and the junk email and the deleted items. And the way to do that is through a registry key. So you have to open the registry editor and navigate to this particular branch. It's under Quantum Tech Inc., Remote Backup Plugins and Exchange. You'll see a key already there called Exclude Items. Now this is how you edit the exclude items. You can separate the items by semicolon. So you can separate, you can include deleted items, sent items, junk email, any mailbox folders that you don't want to back up. You can enter it here with separated by semicolon. So these won't be backed up by the client. I think in most cases everybody excludes junk, deleted and sent items. These are the three most commonly excluded folders.
Are these the defaults after installation?
It is an option actually. In this connection parameters, you'll see two options here. I think these are selected by default. But yeah, if you want to add additional exclusions, you have to do it through the registry. But for junk email and deleted items, there is options on in the connection page, in the connection login or the server login page. That's about it. You have to back up the entire public folders, so you can right-click on public folders, the address list, and if you want to back up all the mailboxes, you can just right-click on the mailboxes, and that will include every mailbox underneath it as well. Or you can individually select user mailboxes. It's up to you. Now, like I said, create a separate backup set just for Exchange, just because the agent itself does kind of a bit backup, so there is no need to use bit backup with Exchange. The way the agent works is the first time it does a backup, it connects to the Exchange server and starts backing up individual objects from Exchange. So the first time it runs, it's going to do a full backup of all the objects, including public folders, contacts, calendar items, everything, and all the mailboxes. So the first backup will be a full. And thereafter, it's going to back up only the new objects or the new emails that come in since the last backup time. So it's kind of doing a backup kind of at the bit level anyway. So you have to, it's better to choose incremental backup for Exchange. Now, for a complete disaster recovery for an Exchange server, you also have to include the system state and Active Directory as well. So make sure you also include Active Directory and system state to the same backup set. You can add it to the same backup set. That is fine. So you can have one backup set that backs up the entire Exchange server, the Active Directory and system state on a daily basis. The first backup, you can use the copy to disk backup. So because it takes a while and the amount of data is usually large for Exchange, so you can do a copy to disk backup the first time. Any questions on Exchange?
Just about restoring.
Mm-hmm.
We need to restore disaster recovery.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, for a complete disaster recovery solution, you have to back up system state and Active Directory as well, along with the entire Exchange server. Let's say the Exchange server crashes and you have to do a disaster recovery. You have to reinstall the server operating system, reinstall Active Directory, and reinstall the Exchange server on that new system. And then you install our client software. And once you do the disaster recovery using the client, the first thing you would restore is the system state. Let me show you. There is a section here for restore. Okay. If you scroll down to the very end of the restore, in this help file, you'll see how to back up system state in Active Directory, how to restore, sorry. So to restore system state, this is the first thing you would restore, the system state. So you basically install our client software, do a disaster recovery, and select the most recent system state file from the restore interface, and just restore it. And you have to reboot the computer once. And then the next thing you would restore is Active Directory. To restore Active Directory, you have to restart the computer in Directory Services Repair mode. So when you restart the computer, you basically hit F8 and it will give you different options. And one of the options would be Directory Services Repair mode. You select that and then you start the client software. Select the most recent Active Directory file and restore that and restart the computer again in normal mode. So once that is done, then you can start restoring Exchange. You can select Exchange mailboxes from the restore interface, or select the entire Exchange and start restoring it, and restore will go back to the Exchange server itself. So that's how you do a complete disaster recovery.
I hope I never have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit complicated, but it takes a little while because you have to reconfigure Active Directory with the same domain name. And I think we have an article someplace. Let me see if I can find it here. 1 second. Okay.
What you're looking for, maybe I know where it is.
I'm looking for. I don't think we have published that yet. I think it's in the public folder somewhere. Okay. I'm going to publish that as in the knowledge base article. It's not published yet, but that article basically gives you a step-by-step method to do a complete disaster recovery for Exchange server. So I'll make sure to put it on the knowledge base. I'll do that probably tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
Let's see. Any questions on Exchange?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to SQL. Like Exchange, you have to install the client on the SQL Server machine itself, so you won't be able to back up from another computer. So if SQL is installed, you'll see the SQL Server on the left-hand side of the interface. And when you click on it, it's going to ask you for the connection parameters. In most cases, everybody uses Windows authentication. If it is Windows, just select Windows and click on connect, and it will use the currently logged in username password. But if it's a separate SQL authentication, you can change the authentication method from this drop down, and the other one will be user defined or SQL, and then you enter a username and password. And once you connect, it will show you all the databases, and you can select the databases that you want to back up. There is no point in backing up TempDB, and I think in the next release we're going to remove that from the display, because there is you can't restore the TempDB, and there is no point in backing that up as well. So we're going to remove that, but you can right-click and select any of the individual databases that you want to back up. The backup type for SQL should be bit backup, because the SQL Server agent itself only knows to do a full backup of all the databases every time. So every time the agent runs, it's going to do a copy of the entire database and puts it in the local temporary location, which is usually a ctemp r backup, and you'll see an SQL Server folder there. And it puts the full copy of the database on every backup. So you have to do bit backup, because the client then basically does a bit backup of that entire database and only backs up the changes to the server. So the preferred backup type is bit backup for SQL Server. To restore, again, you have to restore it back to the SQL Server itself. So in case of a disaster recovery, you have to reinstall the SQL Server, and then you install the client, and you can click on the SQL Server and give it the authentication method if it's different. If it's the same, you can directly go to the restore interface and start the restore. But if the authentication has changed in the new machine, you have to provide the new login information. And then you go to the restore interface and select the database you want to restore, and it will restore it back to the SQL Server. Any questions on SQL?
Not this time.
Okay. Okay. SharePoint. That's one of the newer agents. So if you install the client on a SharePoint server, you'll see SharePoint on the left-hand panel. And for SharePoint, you can back up individual SharePoint site collections, or you can back up the entire site itself. But to give a site collection, you have to provide the full address here. Like for example, HTTP, the entire address for for the SharePoint server itself. That's all you have to do. There is no connection parameters or anything. All you have to do is point it to the site collection, and this help article. I mean, this help section tells you what SharePoint the collection means and how to find it. So once you give that, all you have to do is right-click and select that selection. I mean that site collection, and basically SharePoint in the background is a SQL engine or a SQL database itself, and with some other files like setup files. So a SharePoint backup mostly it combines the SQL database for the SharePoint and other setup files. So that is what a SharePoint agent backs up. You can also set, I think this is if you don't have, if you don't want to back up all the site collections, and if you want to back up just an individual site collection, I think it's going to ask you for this admin credentials, which basically you have to give the admin username, password, and the domain of that machine. And to restore SharePoint, you have to do it on the SharePoint server again. So you have to reinstall SharePoint if it's a disaster recovery. And you go to restore interface and you select the latest file for SharePoint, and the agent does the restore back to SharePoint server. So that's all you have to do here. There might be some warnings and some credentials that get I think that it'll ask you for the SQL username and password if you restore. So you just have to give the credentials, and it'll restore it back to the SQL or the SharePoint server itself. Are you backing up any SharePoint servers currently?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. It's becoming fair. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, would this need to be a bit backup?
SharePoint, yes, you have to do it, do a bit backup on this one as well. Yeah. Because, like I said, SharePoint essentially backs up the SQL database and some other setup files for SharePoint itself. So doing a bit backup would be the recommended way for SharePoint. Let's see what other agents. We have System State and Active Directory. Like I said before, if you have Exchange, include System State and Active Directory in the same backup set and just do incrementals. There's no point in doing bit backup for a System State because I think the file will be almost the same size as the original file size. So just do incremental backups on those System State and Active Directory as well. I mean incremental backup. I think the size for Active Directory, it ranges from anywhere from 100 megs to 200 megs, and for System State it's about the same. I think it sometimes goes to about 250 megs. But compressed, you might see about half, half the original size. So let's see. Any questions on how to set up Exchange, SQL, or SharePoint?
No.
No? Okay. Let's move on to the best practices. Let's see here.
I was looking for a document to go along with that, Chi. I'm not quite sure where it is.
It's in the knowledge base. I'll show it to you.
Ah, okay.
Okay, you'll see best practices here in the version 10 help. It's in the knowledge base. Just give this, let's just go through this best practice and guidelines. This is just for the client software. What it basically tells you is how to identify data and what kind of backup type to use, what kind of retentions to use, how many backup sets to create, and how often to backup. So it gives you an example of an Exchange server, which also has SQL and regular data. So basically, when you go to a client system, you can categorize the data into three different categories. One is critical data, which is integral for ongoing operations for the company, like Exchange, Active Directory, System State. These are all critical data in case of an exchange. If they are using some SQL database, that's a critical data that needs to be backed up. There might be other important data which is valuable, but it's not mission critical, and also archival data. And they might have lots of data that they just need a copy of it offline, but it's not very critical for their ongoing business. So you can basically differentiate data into three categories, and based on that, you can create 2 or 3 different backup sets. So you basically have to talk to the customer and find out what applications they use, what applications his business relies on, and what data changes every day and where they are located. And based on that, you can create multiple backup sets. Dividing the entire data into multiple backup sets is helpful because you're not tasking the client. You're basically reducing the amount of work the client has to do on a daily basis. The backup window will become very small if you separate backup sets. So instead of scanning 300,000, 500,000 files every day, which takes a few hours, if you differentiate what is critical and define a separate backup set, you will see that backups finish much faster, and the amount of data will also be less, and you can have more control over the client's data itself. So once you define once you identify all the data that needs to be backed up, you can categorize and create separate backup sets. You can create one backup set for critical data, and you schedule it for daily Monday to Friday, and you basically set a start time after the business hours, like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something, and give an attempt window of 6 to 8 hours. So the critical data might be Exchange or SQL, System State or Active Directory, or any other critical data files like QuickBook, PST files, anything that is required for ongoing business. There might be other data that doesn't change that often, but they need it backed up. You can schedule such a backup set and schedule it for once a week or during a weekend, or you can even do every alternate day. And you can also create another archive data backup set. And this will be, let's say they have 10 GB of data sitting in an archive folder someplace, and they want it backed up just because they want it in some other location as a backup. You can create one backup set just for that data, and then have it run once or twice a month, because you know that it's not going to change that often. So based on what changes every day and what is critical, you can divide the entire data set into 2 or 3 backup sets and schedule them accordingly. The scheduler, I think we went through this when we discussed Exchange, but it tells you what backup type to use for what kind of data. One of the major things is everyone chooses BitBackup for all kinds of data. BitBackup should be mainly used for it's not that you can't use BitBackup for everything, but BitBackup should be more useful for large data files like a SQL database or a PST file, anything that is not feasible to be backed up on a daily basis. Only for those files mostly rely on BitBackup. For Exchange, it says use incremental backup. For SQL, it tells you to use BitBackup. And the data retention, it gives you some information about what kind of retention settings to start with. This is very important. Make sure that you set this correctly to begin with, so you don't end up losing data. One of the most important things is the keep latest version of all files. In most cases, everyone has this turned on. And set the purge files based on your service level agreement. You don't have to keep everything for 1 year or 10 years for everybody. Again, this is per backup set, so you can define the retention based on that. So the longer the retention, basically the storage increases on your server. So you need to keep that in mind, and also the longer the retention, the longer is the synchronization time. So if you have a backup set, and if you retain 365 days of data, the synchronization time it kind of increases over time because it has to synchronize so many all the 365 backup sets. So define it in a way that you're backing up only critical data that you want to keep for a year and not all kinds of data. So that way you can reduce the synchronization time. File selection method, it gives you information about when to use archive bit, when to use modified date and time, and when to use the fast pick method. It tells you the agents itself, the backup agents like Exchange, SQL, Active Directory, and SharePoint, they don't really depend on the file selection method anyway. So just to let you know that they are not dependent on the file selection method. So archive bit, in most cases everyone uses archive bit, but like I said in a previous session, if they are using some other form of backup like tape backups or some other online backup or NT backup or something like that, then you might have to go with modified date and time or fast pick method. I would choose fast pick for everything if the files is greater than 10,000. If it is less than 10,000, use modified date and time. And this document also gives you a client checklist. These are basically things that you have to make sure after you install the client. The first thing is the temp path location. Make sure the temp path location is correct, and you have enough room on the temp path. Like if the C drive is running out of room, like if they have only 1 GB or 2 GB of free space, it's best to redirect the temp path to a bigger drive. And if you're using bit backup, make sure to define it correctly. And after you register, do a test connection. The test connection basically sends a file to the server and restores that file back. So it does a backup and a restore to your server. So if the test connection goes through successfully, then the backups should be fine. So the client is communicating fine with your server. Another thing to look for is the personal firewalls. They might have personal firewalls and antivirus software that might block the client to connect to the server. So make sure you add both these executables to the client the exception list itself, or give it full control. In most cases, when you do a test connection or when the client is ready to make an outbound connection, you'll see a pop-up. Most firewalls and antivirus software, it will ask you a question: do you want to allow this particular executable to connect to the internet? And if you say allow, that's all you have to do. But if you think one of the best ways to find out why a client is not doing a test connection is the first thing you have to verify is, let's say it fails with a timeout error, or you get a 530 error or something. You basically go into the client software, go to options, preferences, and you have to check 5 things. Make sure the logon name, the password is correct, and it's case sensitive, so make sure you're typing it correctly. Check the account group. If the account group is incorrect, you'll get the error 530. So if you see 530, more likely it's with the account group. Make sure the backup server URL is correct and the port number is correct. As long as these 5 things are set up correctly, it should connect to your server and finish the test successfully. If it's still unable to connect, then it could be the software firewall that's blocking it. Sometimes Windows firewalls might be turned on, so check for that as well. And you can give exceptions in the Windows firewall too. So once you make sure the test connection is working fine, the last thing you would do is make sure all your schedules are set correctly. And if you have multiple schedules, stagger them like 2-3 hours apart, so they don't overlap. You can, depending on how many backups you run every day, you can split them at different timings. And basically tells you to do a first backup using copy to disk. So this document is available in the knowledge base, so you can give that, you can download it and print it if you want to. Do you have any questions on setting up a client, backup set, schedules, or anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's good.
Okay. Let's see. What's next? The RPS update engine.
One of my personal favorites.
Okay. Uh, let's go back and open the server's help file.
The RBS update utility is the utility that's used to update your server software. It's installed along with your server, and it's also installed along with every client that you install, but the default is off on it. So you have to configure that and turn it on before you can use it. On your server, it's already configured and turned on, and it looks, and here's how it works. When it starts up or periodically throughout the operation of the program, this little utility checks with our update server here to see what the latest version of the server software is, and then it compares that with the version that you have installed. And then if your version is older than the version that we have, it does something based on how you programmed it. And one of the things it can do is to pop a message up on your screen that says, hey, you need to update your software. Another is it can pop up a message that says your software is already up to date. Another is it can download a file for you. And finally, it can even just straight out update your server silently and then restart it without any intervention at all. Now, that very same utility, you've got access to use that as well. And since it's installed with all the clients, all you have to do is turn it on with a registry key in the backup.reg file. There's also a text file that you should post in your web space. This is, Gautam's going to tell you about this text file, but this text file contains certain information that tells it programs the RBS update utility, changes its text and changes the way that it works. This is really a pretty powerful utility that can save you an awful lot of time going out to the site to do this, and also make sure that all of your clients have up-to-date software.
What you're looking at on the screen is actually the RBS update program. This is on your RBS server. So if you go to File and check for updates, it actually runs the update engine, and it checks with our web server here. And it tells you if your software is up to date, or if updates are required. You'll get a message saying there is a new version. It also checks for your maintenance subscription, and if your maintenance is running out, it will give you messages saying, I think it gives you messages 30 days or 45 days before your maintenance is due. So it tells you information of whenever there is a new upgrade. So this is the update engine that runs on your server. Now the same update engine runs on the client as well. But instead of checking with our web server, the client-side update engine checks with your web server. So if you go to the help file, the server's help file, look at the section which says RBS update, the check for updates utility. This whole section explains how to set up and configure the text file and how to turn on the update engine on the client side. Now, once you do all this, the way the update engine works on the client side is after every scheduled backup, it will check to see if updates are turned on by a registry value. If the updates are turned on, what it does is it connects to your web server and downloads a text file. The text file contains information about upgrades. So it downloads the text file, and then it does kind of a comparison with the current version that's already installed. And if there is an upgrade, it silently downloads the installer from your website. And this all happens on the background, so there won't be any user pop-ups or nothing the user has to do. So it will silently download and upgrade the client as part of after the scheduled backup. So it all happens silently in the background. So to start with, there are 3 files that you need to set up. Let's go over those files. But this is how it basically, there is also a way to manually set up a menu option on the client. like a start menu option where they can manually click on an option saying check for updates, and it will show them a message box saying you can also post news and any update you want to pass on to the customer. You can also post information like there is some exciting news and post some links so they can click, and that might take you to a website. So you can do all kinds of things with this update engine. So you can post, for example, information links with news and special offers, and this is how it looks like. It comes up with a message box, and they can view the news or special offer, or if there is no update, it will give them information that your software is up to date. So you can there is a script language file called update.txt. So you create a text called update.txt and just follow this help file. And if you scroll down a bit, this is the entire script for the update.txt file. You can just copy this and open a notepad, and you can paste it in here. And you have to call it. You can call it anything you like, but you can name it. But it should be a txt file. So name it with a. Most commonly, it's update.txt. So. So these are this is the actual script that gets downloaded on the client side, and the client side update engine basically reads this information, like this is the current version. So if you increment this version number to 10.1.68, then the update engine on the client side basically compares this version number with the installed version, and if it is greater, it knows there is a new update available. And it will also check for date to see when the update was posted. And if it's a manual check for updates thing, it will give you a message box and with the text explaining click here to upgrade. That is the actual text in the message box. And the corresponding link, when they click on that message box link, you can tell it where to go and get the update. So this is the link to the client update installer. So when we issue an upgrade, you basically upgrade your server software first on the RBS server, and then you build a client installer after you upgrade the server, and then you put that client installer and that will be the link to that installer, the exe installer.
Yeah, that goes in your website someplace.
Yeah.
Now that run with the colon in front of that is that's something special too.
Yeah. So let me go back to the help file here, and we can go over this script here. Okay, so it explains you each of these scripts in detail, like version specifies the version number of the client that is available. There is also an info. So if you go back to this, you might have noticed there is another section called info. Info is used to pass on information about news or special offers, or if you just want to pop up a message box to your end user, you can use the info, and you can keep incrementing this for newer updates. I mean, new information or news that you want to post. So you just keep incrementing this number. You can start out with 1 or 1,000. It's up to you.
So that ensures that each client sees the information box only once. Because once a client has seen that, that's actually the version number of the information that you want to show them. So that ensures that it doesn't continue to pop up over and over and over again on the same client.
And you can give a date for that information, and this will be the text that will be displayed on that message, and that will be the go-to link for if they click on it, it'll take them to a HTML your website. And if there is no updates, it'll show the end user this particular message. So you can type in your text here. So if there is nothing new, this text will be displayed saying it's all up to date, and you can change the caption to your company's name. And this HTML text will show up in the message box. Let's go back to the help here. I'll show you where that. Okay, you see this text here, select the links above for information on software updates. That's actually coming from that HTML tag. So you can change that HTML text too. So the main thing, let's say you want to post automatic updates, the main things will be to increment the version number of the client, change the date to the current date, change the text and change the version number, and change the link to download the exe installer. So that will be the three things you have to change whenever there is an upgrade. So this particular text here, it tells you in detail the formats that are necessary for each of these tags here for the text and for the links. Now, if you put go to in before a link, what that means is basically opens up a browser, a default web browser, and it points it to that particular link. If you say run, that means it's an exe file and it will automatically run it. So it doesn't ask, it will bypass the question about run, save, cancel, message box. It automatically downloads it and runs it. The form caption, we talked about that, and the HTML text. So you basically configure this update engine, this update.txt file, and this also goes on your web server. I'll tell you. So on your web server, you basically put it on in your web server in some particular location, and you then modify the registry file. So you open the registry file. Let's open one. So you right click on this rbackup.reg and click on edit. You'll see that you'll see an update info option here at the bottom. This update info should be pointing to that update.txt link. So after you're done with the update.txt, put it on your website someplace and open the registry file, and you type in the link to that update.txt file. So that's how the client knows how to get that update.txt file, by looking at this registry key. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So that's the main thing. The update info should be modified in the registry file. Let's see. The next thing would be to build a silent installer. Okay. This particular section here tells you how to build a silent installer. Rob, you want to do this? Because I'm not very familiar with this.
You know what? I'm not sure if we need to cover that right now.
Okay.
It's not on the agenda for today, and it's a little complicated. Not too many people use it. Tell you what, if any of you want to use it, just call us and we'll show you how to do it. So the last thing we've got to talk about is website integration, and I wonder if either of you have integrated this with your website. Do you have any? Let's deal with the specific examples.
We have the ability to download the client installer, but it's not the online.
Okay. Does anybody have the ability for a customer to go online and pay for it, and have your system accept a credit card and bill them and set it up for recurring billing, and then download the product immediately?
Not this time.
No, not at this time, and we personally don't have any plans to.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, that's what this next section is about. So I will show you this. What I want to do is switch computers with Gautam. He's in my office on my computer. I'm in the conference room on a laptop. So let's switch so I can come in there, and Gautam, I'll meet you outside here.
Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What time is it there?
It's just 8:15.
Oh, not too bad.
Mm.
I knew it had to be late for you. I didn't know how late.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's fine. I said we're not planning to do this, Rob, but you try and get me excited, and I might change my mind.
Well, I'm going to show you a couple of them. I'm going to show you two websites that are doing it. and then you tell me if you think it sounds exciting. First, I'm going to try to clean my audio up just a little bit. Let me push a button here and see if this. There. Do I sound cleaner or not?
I don't notice anything different.
No difference. Okay. All right. There are several ways to do this. One way is to use now our Remote Backup Systems has a standalone product called the ARS, the Automatic Registration System. Has anybody bought that?
No.
Probably not, because
No.
you would love it. Let me show you that, and then I'm going to also show you, so the automatic registration system will deploy an RBS client. It'll take your money. It'll do all kinds of stuff. Here, let me just get a web. All right. Okay, this is the automatic registration system. It is just one page on screen. This page, there's a lot behind here. What this page does is it does everything. This page asks for your user's username and password. It allows them to set one up. It gets first name, last name, gets all the information. It'll get the credit card number. It'll let them sign up for a plan. It displays your terms and conditions. You accept the terms and conditions, and what happens then is the system hooks into your credit card gateway, your merchant accounts gateway, and charges the credit card, and then sets it up for recurring billing. And if that's successful, then it downloads the software for you. Actually, it builds you an installer in the background. So this same page can deploy an unlimited number of types of plans. So in this case, we've got a free demo. This one is free, so it's not asking for credit card information. But I'll show you one that is. Let's switch over to Backup Max. The second way to integrate with your website is to use somebody else's shopping cart program, and the one that we like is called OneShoppingCart.com. All right, and here's where it starts. You pick your plan, and at this point, it has switched off to the shopping cart program. It's no longer on the Backup Max website. Looks like it is, but the shopping cart, you can see up here in the up in the top part that it's gone away. All right, let's just sign up. The shopping cart can be localized. So it's asking me for a state right now, but it can also ask for a province or anything. Another thing this shopping cart can do is accept coupons. Really cool stuff. So if you want to distribute coupons good for 10% off or good for free, as in the case I'm about to use here, you can do so. And the One Shopping Cart, which I'm going to show you right now, OneShoppingCart.com. One Shopping Cart costs for their biggest plan is $199 a month. The one that this e-commerce this $34 a month will do for anything that you guys would want to do. Anyway, that's the program that handles this. It also handles affiliates. All right, watch this. That's a coupon code that we just generated, and it's good for a free account. All right, so I've got my name, a credit card number. entered the coupon code. I've applied it. I'm going to submit the order now. Okay, now what's happened is the One Shopping Cart program has charged the credit card and sent me back to the Backup Max website with an authentication code that the Backup Max website recognizes as, hey, we've got his money, everything's A-OK, now give him his software. So what we're going to do now is select the username and password. Did I use the username and password over there?
No.
I don't believe so.
No.
Okay. There we go. It's built my software, and now I can download it. So, within the space of 2 minutes, it took my credit card, validated it, set it up for recurring billing, gave me a discount based on a coupon code, and now it's built the installer, and I'm ready to install it. So I can just click this and install the software. Okay, did that turn anybody on?
Yeah.
Because that's cool. All right. Now the way to integrate that with your website, there's let's see. You can do it two ways. One way is you can buy the ARS, which we install. I think it costs $1,600, and that includes installation, and you have to have your own merchant account. We'll hook it to your merchant account. We'll integrate it with your website, and then it'll work exactly like that. Or you can go to One Shopping Cart, and you can set this up. Let me log in here. I'll show you around this. The way this works is you get an account with One Shopping Cart, and then you set up these products. The product is, I'm going to show you here. Right. A product is like this, and let me go find a Backup Max product category. Okay, here we go. So we set up products that cost money at your website, maybe $89, maybe, here, let me just go look at all of them, because I don't think that showed me the Backup Max stuff. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you set it up like this. It's a product. It costs $4.95 a month. This is just a sample. And it's active. This product, once you create it, One Shopping Cart supplies you with a link. And here are the links. These are the checkout links. So you click it, and you get this Add to Cart page right here. This is where that recognize that page, and that's all from the shopping cart program. So you go through that procedure, and the next important link is the thank you page. Let me go find that. Optional values. Navigation. Nope. Okay, the thank you page must be in. Okay, I'm not going to waste your time looking for the thank you page. In every cart, every shopping cart, there's a page called a thank you page, and there's also a page called a declined page. The declined page is the shopping cart will link to that if the credit card is declined. If the credit card is approved, it'll go to the thank you page, and you can define that. So what you do is this. You put an online installer on your website, put a link to this product on your website. When people click on your website to buy the $4.95 monthly package, it goes to the one shopping cart page. This one goes through the checkout, and when it's completed, it goes to the page defined as the thank you page, and you define that as back on your website. That'll be the index file in your online installer. So what happens is the only way to get to that is through the shopping cart program, and by the time somebody gets there, you've got their money, and it's that simple. Now, the one shopping cart program also has the ability, in case you don't have, do you guys both have merchant accounts?
No, we don't.
Okay. You can also use PayPal. So the shopping cart has the ability to link. In fact, this one does. I'm not sure if all of them do, but this one has really, really good linkages with PayPal. So the money can go into a PayPal account, and you can also apply for a merchant account through PayPal. The only difference is, with a merchant account, PayPal never shows up. You never see the word PayPal. It just looks like it's right on your website, or it's invisible altogether. This will also allow you to accept bank checks by phone. I don't know how that's handled in the UK, but here in America, it should be illegal. We can take somebody's bank information over the telephone and print a bank check and deposit it just like real money, and it goes through. It's just like printing money. But that's what this will allow you to do. It's really amazing stuff. And that's it. That's it on integrating with your website. There are two ways to do it, at least two ways. One way is with our ARS system, and the other way is through the shopping cart system like this. This costs a monthly fee. The ARS is a one-time fee. They can both handle an almost infinite number of plans. And this one, the shopping cart, handles affiliate program as well as coupons, which the ARS will not handle yet. Now, affiliate programs are cool, and we'll talk about those in the business section. But affiliate plans allow people to go out and sell your service for you, and the shopping cart program automatically keeps track of sales that come as a result of links clicked from other people's websites. So you can pay them a commission on sales. It's all automatic, and at the end of the month, it just prints you a report. It tells you who to pay. Any questions about this or anything?
You say you do need a separate merchant account, though, to run this. Is that correct? Or they have their own merchant account?
You can. It's best to get your own merchant account. They are hard to get, however, even harder now. Merchant account. It's best to do that because with this shopping cart anyway, it can link directly with that, and I'll show you the ones that it can link with. Of course, it can link with PayPal. And then it also it allows you to take all these credit cards and it can link with all of these payment gateways. We use PayFlow Pro, which is a product of VeriSign, but then it also, a lot of people use Authorize.net, this one. And that's a good one too. This system is, as you can see, it takes things from all over the planet. It can also it can also be localized for any form of currency.
Okay. If we purchase the ARS, do you provide this help if we run into a snag somewhere with this?
Yeah, we're going to install it for you. If you buy the ARS, we'll install and test it for you by remote.
Okay.
And you won't be using this shopping cart program with the ARS. It's got now. If you want to take a second look at the ARS, it's back here. I'll show you how to get to it. You just go to our website and then click. That's not our website. That is. Click this free demo right here, and on this page is where you can download the demo software, test the Mercury client, and all that stuff. Click right here,
Okay.
and this page is the front. This is the ARS,
Okay.
and
Very good.
that's how that works. Oh, well, and you can click here and learn more information. Get more information about it. The ARS is actually, okay, Gallum, I heard that. He's snickering back there. Okay, okay. Oh, my gosh. There. That's it. Tells you all about it. All about it. Okay. Now, does anybody plan to address the really cheapo market? How much? Who are your clients? They're business clients, aren't they, for both of you?
Correct. Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to attempt to address the market for like less than $10 a month?
No.
We don't. No.
Okay. All right. Did you want to see? We've got another. We have a platform called Mercury Backup. Do you want to see anything? Do you know anything about that, or would you like to see it?
I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Mercury Backup is designed to compete with Carbonite and Mozy in the cheap market. We wrote this. It's not a replacement to our backup. It has very little in common with our backup. In fact, it won't install on a server platform. It's designed mainly for personal computers and laptops. We have a lot of students who use this under different brand names. Mercury is run almost totally by web services. It runs on Windows and also on Mac. It runs in native code on both of them. It's got a really strong back end. Mercury's back-ended by Oracle 11G and requires quite a lot of resources to run it, so we don't sell too many of them. What we have decided to do, though, is to host this ourselves. So if you have any need for a multi-platform, inexpensive solution, you might want to consider Mercury and just buy a virtual hosting account for it. So in that case, we would customize your client software for you and give you a website that you can sell it from, and we'll host all of your data here. That way you don't have to go to the expense of a Mercury server. They start at $70,000. But it's a whole different deal, Let's have a look at it. Mercury's got some cool features. Besides running on a Windows and a Mac, it also does CDP. It does the continuous data protection. It can run.
That was one of my questions later.
Yeah.
Is that ever going to be available in RBAC?
Yeah, it sure is. In fact, Prim it's one of his main jobs right now. He's working on that. It won't be in the next release, but my guess is it'll be in the very next release after that. We have discovered a really cool way to do that uses real low overhead. It's just amazing stuff, and it'll be able to do that very well. Mercury is run by web services. It also can be run on the web. So the same interface that you see on the agent, which lives on the user's computer, you can see on the web. You can log into your account and see that on the web. Let's see, what else does it do? Oh, this is cool. Mercury can erase sensitive data by remote. So if the laptop gets stolen or left at the airport, you can go to any website, go to the web, log into your account, and tell it to erase the data from your laptop. So the next time somebody turns it on, it's going to erase itself. It can also help to locate the computer. So one of the things that you can tell your account to do is to start tracking the computer. It can turn on the the onboard camera. It can turn on the onboard microphone. This is all, silently. They don't know what's happening. And it'll take movies and pictures, record sounds in the room, and upload all of that to your account. It also uses its onboard wireless interface card to look around and locate wireless access points and help to triangulate the location of the computer. So it can tell, in many cases, where it is within less than a city block, and that's without GPS. It looks like this. Real simple stuff. And well, let me show you a website that uses it. Backup Max sells it as their personal edition. At $4.95 a month. And that's about that. If anybody's interested in it, just give us a call, and we can set you up with a virtual hosting account, or you can look at the hosting accounts yourself to see what the options are for it. What is going on? Oh, I keep assuming I'm at my own website, don't I? This is all about the virtual hosting. You can also get there from the main web page. It talks about the data centers and the pricing. Let's see, the pricing is $2 per client per month, and for the Mercury, it's 50 cents per gigabyte per month. So you pay us $2 per month per client and 50 cents per gigabyte stored, and then you charge whatever you want to charge. At those rates, it makes it fairly easy and but yeah, fairly profitable in large quantities to run a cheap backup service.
Yeah.
Okay, so far, go ahead.
To start with,
Say again?
how many users for that Mercury would we have to start with?
You start with one. The Mercury, all of our we also virtually host our backup. It's unlimited clients that you have availability for. We're only going to bill you. We meter the number of client licenses that you use per month, and we'll bill you for the amount that you use.
Okay. And is there a setup fee for that?
Yes, $750, and that includes the customization. So you'll give us your graphics, and we'll build your website and your installer. I'll show you one that's been built. We've got a demo. MyBackupSpace.com is hosted here. It's a Mercury hosted website, and here's how it works. That's it. This says zero price. It's just a sample, but the website has all about how it works. This is all customizable up here. It's the sign up. This is all customizable. This might work. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it works. So this will take your money. Once we set this up for you, you have access to all of this. There's a really nice HTML editor that comes as part of your service provider portal, and you can change any of these web pages that you want. Change the look and feel of them, and redirect them, all kinds of stuff. We just will customize the template and put it up there for you, and it works as it is. You can use it as it is. And this is the portal to log in. This is where your users will log in when they want to manage their account from outside their computer. And they can also click here to purchase, and if they've forgotten their password, click here. And it's about 15 pages, and it's hosted on our secure server. Any more questions about that, or issues or anything?
That's something we're definitely going to talk to some people about.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I would too.
Yeah. Well, if you're out there selling this, you're gonna run into people that want it, that want a cheap solution for their home, and don't pass up the business, especially if you can sell a ton of it. I'll tell you who loves this stuff. Private schools absolutely love this stuff. Universities and private schools love it. They're all giving laptops to their students these days, and those laptops don't have any form of backup on them. They need to be backed up. They also get lost all the time. So with Mercury, they have the ability to run on a PC or a Mac, and we're finding in American universities about half of the students have Macs these days, which is a much higher percentage than I would have expected until I started seeing the numbers come in from the use of this software. Also, you can go in, you can sell 1,000 accounts all at one time. Just make one call, 1 or 2 or 3 calls at the headmaster's office, and sell the entire school. Let's see. Okay, so today we've gone over editing the client's help file, the Registration Wizard plugin, which turned out to be a little complicated, the Online Installer plugin, which I didn't spend a whole lot of time on, but it's really simple. We went over special client installations, best practices, and also where that document is. Talked about the amazing RBS update utility, and just now we've talked about website integration and the ARS. Is there anything that we need to go back over from today?
One of the questions I asked earlier was about the client help file. You were going to check about changes as they're made, if there was a way to not overwrite changes we've made to it.
Right. I'm going to have to do that offline. I've got to have a conversation with Gautam about that to see how hard that's going to be. Right now, I sort of doubt it. Knowing the you know what, though? There is a utility that can compare. Yes, there is. Here's how you do it. I'll work up a procedure. I've just figured out how to do it.
I mean, even if you just sent out a text file that said,
yeah,
we've added this, we'll change the text in this section.
That's what it's going to be. I can automatically generate a change log.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
I mean, I just put all that time and effort into it and lose it.
Absolutely. I understand. Now, let me ask you a question. In that help file, on the captions of those screens where it's got the icon and the name of the software, would you have to have that, or if we delivered that to you blank, just completely blank blue with nothing on it, would that work for you?
Yes, definitely.
You think so? I'm thinking it would for a number of people as well. And then that way...
as I have time, I might go back and edit it with our own name on there, but to get up and running, it would be much faster.
Well, now, we can easily put your name on it, well, I'm sorry, not on the graphics,
Yeah, but I'm saying I could go back and take screenshots and put them in there as I have time.
Yeah. Okay, so I think what we'll do, next time we regenerate the help file, we'll generate it with blank captions on those screens. And I think that'll be much cleaner.
Well, that wouldn't bother me too much. I don't think any of my customers have ever read the help.
That's probably very true.
Interesting.
But I think I've learned that I'm quite interested in that Mercury, and I think the online thing, there could be some opportunities for us there.
Okay, super.
What I wanted to do when I said I wasn't particularly interested was we're really looking for the business users that want SQL, Exchange, etc. Servers. I mean, that's where the bigger money is for us. A small number of high-value clients, but there could be interesting. I could do that as a separate business plan, really. And
I could see on ours even having a business section and a personal section on our webpage specifically designed to capture that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's really easy with this hosting with hosting it here, because the personal could just go straight to this website right here, which would have your name on it. Now, this is not your look and feel, but it could certainly go here, or it could just go to this page right here. You don't even need the whole website. You just need the links. If you just wanted to place this link on your website, then that's fine. And after this virtual hosting is configurable. There is a thank you page that happens after this, and right now it's linked back to this same website. But you can change that to have it link over to your website. So what would happen is your customers would find a link on your website that says purchase this for $20. It would go here. They fill this out. It deploys the software for them and then switches back to your website. So you're only actually using one page on this website. So that might be very convenient for you, too, if you don't want the whole website. All right?
Another question, something you said, we're in the process of looking at redoing our website. We're using the templates that you provided. Who is somebody locally there in Memphis doing this for you, or are you guys doing it?
Well, sometimes we
The web page.
Oh, you mean these websites?
Right.
This one, we wrote this one in house.
Okay.
And but now what we've done with this for the Mercury web hosting, we host this whole website, and anyone who has a hosting account automatically gets a copy of this whole website customized. So, and it's all automatic. When you sign up for it, it's going to ask you what's the name of your product, and in this case, you'll say it's My Backup Space, and it says,
Right.
"No, what's your motto?" And you'll enter your motto, and what's the name of your company, and the company goes here, and this system builds the website for you automatically using this template. So
My question was, if we had that already, I could make my main page, somewhat similar to that, or even if the same person could build that, make it so it looks like it's all one site.
Sure. Well, absolutely. And if you want to sign up for a Mercury hosting account, I'll give you this template, and you can just use it on your own website, and then link over here just for the deployment of the software.
Okay.
So just ask for that if you call in and talk to somebody, and we have no problem doing that. It's 15 pages. We'll zip it up and email it to you.
Yeah, it looks good, so it's already done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rob, where are the servers for Mercury located? Are they just all at your offices, or are they?
The Mercury servers are here in Memphis, Tennessee. They're in a data center that's serviced by Time Warner, about 20 miles from our office.
So yeah. Excellent.
So, and we get pretty good. We get pretty good speed out there too, and especially from overseas. We have one customer in Australia who uses a lot of Mercury and also a lot of our backup, and we host all of that for him here. The bandwidth charges, Telstra's really just terrible down there. It costs a lot of money for bandwidth. Let's see. All right. Anything else?
No,
I don't believe so.
Okay. Yesterday we went over, in technical session 2, we went over customizing the client software, talked about the best file selection defaults. We took a look at those setup files, which are those complicated text files where you can change a lot of things about the software. Creating a client installer, we talked about the restore agents, the web restore and the disk restore agent. Any questions about any of that stuff?
No.
no, I've got to try it because it looks fantastic. Anyway.
Yeah, we love those restore agents. That's really nice stuff, and that's Gallum and Prim did that.
Well done.
Thank you. And then on day 1, technical session 1, this was the introduction where we installed the server, customized the email notifications. Any questions about the email notifications? Everybody loves those.
No.
Okay. We did the basic client customization, created the installers, installed the software, took a look at the simple interface and the advanced interface, did a basic backup and restore. Any questions about any of that?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I have recorded this session. We're going to post it. I also recorded Tech Session 2, which hasn't been posted yet. I'll be able to post that today. This one will be posted probably later today, and I'll send you emails about the locations for those. I assume that both of you got my email about Session 1?
Yes.
Yes, I,
Super.
yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Okay. Please give us a phone call or give us an email. Send it to sales@remote-backup.com, and Carrie will get that, and she'll forward it to whoever needs to answer it for you based on what you're asking.
Okay.
Good luck. Please give us a call. Ask questions. If you have anything you want us to go over again, do that. Of course, you have access to the recordings, so you can listen to those anytime you want. And that's it. That's all I have for you for today.
Very good.
Well, thank you very much. Thank
Gentlemen,
you both very much.
Gentlemen,
Okay,
thank you. Thank you very much. And Gautam, thank you. And that's it. Goodbye for today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.